Hello and welcome to our Friday instalment, our first Friday instalment of the book of Esther. We're reading Esther ready for our Bible book group on the 11th of September, 7 o'clock at Denholm Shared Church. You're very welcome to come along as we join together to talk about Ruth and to talk about Esther. In the book of Esther so far we have King Xerxes, who got rid of his previous wife Queen Vashti and had a new Queen Esther, who was a member of the Jewish community, and she was there, and then all was sort of going well. Her uncle Mordecai had been promoted, but then he refused to kneel to Haman, who was the top official in the palace, and Haman hated the Jewish people and used Mordecai's refusal to kneel as an excuse to exterminate the whole of the Jewish race within the country that Xerxes ruled over. Mordecai said and the king signed a law that said that was going to happen in a few months' time, and Mordecai was beside himself and said to Esther, you're going to have to speak to the Queen. The Queen said, that's not going to be easy. You can't just walk in and see the king, because if you do that, then you're going to be killed. Mordecai said, well, the very reason that you are queen might be for this moment, and maybe you need to take that risk. And she said, okay, I will take the risk, even if it means I'm going to die. I will go and see the king. So that's where we were yesterday. And this is where we begin today, chapter 5 of Esther, reading from the Contemporary English Version. 3 days later, Esther dressed in her royal robes and went to the inner court of the palace in front of the throne. The king was sitting there facing the open doorway. He was happy to see Esther, and he held out the gold scepter to her. When Esther came up and touched the tip of the scepter, the king said, Esther, what brings you here? Just ask, and I will give you as much as half of my kingdom. Esther answered, Your Majesty, please come with Haman to a dinner I will prepare for you later today. The king said to his servants, Hurry and get Haman so we can accept Esther's invitation. The king and Haman went to Esther's dinner, and while they were drinking wine, the king asked her, What can I do for you? Just ask, and I will give you as much as half of my kingdom. Esther replied, Your Majesty, if you really care for me and are willing to do what I want, please come again tomorrow with Haman to the dinner I will prepare for you. At that time I will answer your Majesty's question. Haman was feeling great as he left. But when he saw Mordecai at the palace gate, he noticed that Mordecai did not stand up or show him any respect. That made Haman really angry, but he did not say a thing. When Haman got home, he called together his friends and his wife Zeresh and started bragging about his great wealth and all his sons. He told them the many ways that the king had honored him and how all the other officials and leaders had to respect him. Haman added, That's not all. Besides, the king himself, I am the only person Queen Esther invited for dinner. She has also invited the king and me to dinner tomorrow. But none of this makes me happy as long as I see that Jew Mordecai sitting at the palace gate. Haman's wife and friends said to him, Have a tower built about 75 feet high, and tomorrow morning ask the king to hang Mordecai there. Then later you can have dinner with the king and enjoy yourself. This seemed a good idea to Haman, and he had the tower built. Another term for the word. That's a real Friday cliffhanger, isn't it? We're going to have to wait over the weekend to find out what happens next. So there we are. We're leaving it with Haman having had his dinner with the queen and the king together, feeling he's on top of the world and bragging about all his goodness and how much he hates Mordecai. And he's goaded into building a tower from which they will hang Mordecai, so that he can hang him before lunch with the queen tomorrow. Well, it's not going to be tomorrow, but it'll be Monday. Do join me then as we continue our story of Esther. Come and find out what happens next. A real cliffhanger. You're going to have to wait all the weekend, and I'll see you on Monday to find out what happens in chapter 6. See you then. All the very best. God bless. Bye-bye.